Hello, and welcome to this presentation. We'll be looking at the offer creation framework for guaranteed conversion increase without being unethical. So let me ask you a question. If you had the choice and you would give me $1 in exchange, you would get $1 back. Or you would give me $10 and you would get $100 in exchange. Or third option, you would give me $100 and get $1,000 in return. Which one of these three options would you choose? Well, obviously, and probably most of you, you would choose option number three, right? Because that is where you're having the highest return of invest. That's where you're having the highest payout. And compared to the other two options, it seems obvious. And that is exactly what we want your offers to look like in comparison to all the other offers and options out there. We want your prospects, your future clients, to look at your offer, at your product and services, and compare to other options out there, if there are any. They want to look at it in this kind of a way where, like, okay, it's obvious. I want to take your offer. I want to take your option. So that is what we want to achieve. And if we look at a great quote by Albert Einstein, he once said, "Everything that exists in your life does so because of two things. Number one, because something you did or something you did not do." So I want to look at exactly the one thing maybe that you should start doing or the one thing that you should stop doing, so your offer will be able to be presented in that kind of a way. That is what we want to do. That is my goal for this presentation, to increase your offer conversion, and therefore you also, of course, get more clients and you get more sales. And we're going to do all this with my 4x4 offer creation framework. But real quick, just a few sentences to me who I am. I'm Danny, and this is my wonderful family here enjoying a few weeks in Greece. I'm a proud father of 3 children and my beautiful Greek wife. And my background is that I worked at a corporate job, an amazing software company for 10 years. I was the sales manager there, later the marketing manager. And during those 10 years, I was able to help that company grow from around $50,000 in revenue all the way up to around $500,000 when I left the company. And I had the amazing opportunity during that time to consult companies like Fujitsu or also Mercedes-Benz. And we did very high ticket consulting solutions. Yeah, it was an amazing journey. I learned a lot of things, of course, during that time. And it was also an amazing company, an amazing environment I was around. We got a lot of awards. As a company, we were featured in bestseller books comparing companies like Apple and others, and also even our company, is how we were creating this environment for high achievement, high performance. But then I decided to leave that company and help businesses that were maybe not as fortunate and big as Mercedes-Benz, and maybe not making $1 million in revenue yet every year. So serving purpose-driven companies, and why only purpose-driven? Just because I strongly believe that entrepreneurs, we are created to make an impact, to make a change, and not only to get the first or next Lambo. And that's also why I created the World Changerpreneur movement. Just because, as I said, I think we should be very, very successful as entrepreneurs, and we should take our resources, our impact, our reach to, just change the world for better, whatever that means for you, whatever organization that might be for you, what you the change you want to impact you want to make. But I think that as successful entrepreneurs will be able to make a bigger impact than non-successful entrepreneurs. So that's my goal, that's my vision, and a few words about me. So real quick, before we dive into the offer creation framework, let's just have a quick look at a few key questions. So why are offers so key? Why focus on an offer and improving your offer? Well, let's look at this following example, and I love to compare business with the typical relationships we go through And we will be able to see and learn a lot comparing business to how normal life relationships are happening in our lives. So with any relationship between a man and a woman, for example, well, it all starts out with, of course, you need to show up somewhere where you maybe get to meet your the right girl, the right guy, whoever that might be for you. So that's usually where it all starts out, right? We need to be seen, we need to be noticed. And the same for business, right? Nobody will get to buy from you if there's not some first interaction. They don't kind of know that you're even out there. So that's usually the kind of like the first step. But then, of course, we need to make contact. Maybe there's some flirting, maybe there's some drinks, some getting to know each other more. And that's the next step, is where we get to know each other better, and where we are able to have that first contact, that first conversation. And then we can maybe ask for like the first date, and we can exchange more time together, get to know, like, and trust each other. And that's the same with business, is that when they get to know you, when they get to know your service, they might take that next step, which would mean maybe taking more time with you, looking at maybe a demo, a presentation, maybe buying something very low ticket from you. So they are starting to invest more time. So instead of like at the club where there's all the noise around, they're starting to focus on you and spending specific time and maybe also some money with you. And the next step is that we would maybe then propose. We would ask them to marry us in the traditional way, probably. And then if they say yes, then we would get married and then eventually maybe have kids. So that's like the traditional way of how maybe a relationship journey and also a business journey usually looks like. Because when we propose, that's kind of showing our like main offer, our core offer, what we can do for them, we would want for them, and asking them to say yes and to kind of jump on board of whatever that product and service is on your side. And if they say yes, we are able to go on that journey with them, provide service. And with kids is usually that's when we are able to multiply, and your clients are so happy and so enjoying the journey that they will start bragging about you, telling others about you, and referring others to you. And that's where they are kind of bringing in new people into your world. And it's kind of like a couple having kids. In this case, your clients bringing in new clients and referring others to you. So that's kind of the journey that we can see in relationships, but also how it can look like in business. So what do you think is like the key moment here in this relationship journey? If you look at this in this kind of a way, well, it is pretty much the moment where that person takes time, kneels down, if that's the traditional way maybe, and then, well, asks if she wants to marry him. But what if in that moment she says, sorry, no, it's just not right for me, or sorry, no, I'm not ready, or I got somebody else, whatever. So the question is, during all that time, but during all that process, the key moment, the key situation that we can see here is this moment where, well, we are proposing. So all the work, all the effort leading up to that moment, all the time spent, money spent maybe, all boils down to this key moment where we propose, and hopefully they say yes. And of course, if they say no, all the moments afterwards will also not happen. So this is a very, very key moment, all the work kind of leading up to this moment maybe, and then also all the moments, all the experiences afterwards, of course, only happen if that proposal is positive. So that is kind of what it also looks like with the offers that we present, is that this is the key moment, and that is why we want to focus on this moment and to make it a successful moment, and actually also be able to prepare the momentum of the moment so far that they're actually waiting for the proposal and only waiting to say yes. So let's look at 3 key areas how we are going to be able to increase profits with the offers that convert. So number 1, we're going to look at the profit matrix. So with this profit matrix, you're going to see how you can easily double your profits overnight. And then we're going to also look at how to package and position offers so they become the only option for your ideal clients. And last, we're going to look at how to eliminate the 1 reason that great offers still fail. So let's start out with the first and very important point, and that is how to increase the profits with the profit matrix, and literally even being able to do that overnight. So something very important to realize is that starting with this point, we're going to start at a higher level before we go in deeper now with the offer creation framework. So this is something where we can see on a higher level, on a 30,000-foot view, on the different positioning and things that we can do on to really make our change and make our offers convert better, or also just have higher profits. So there's 3 key areas that we can look at. And the first area that we can look at is our ideal client and the person, the who that we are serving, and the person that we are targeting with our messaging, with our marketing. So at the lowest barrier, at the lowest end, we are maybe targeting people where our solution or their problem that we're trying to solve is not their number one priority. Going up that ladder, it's becoming higher priority, or even it is their highest priority, and there's a high cost involved if they do not fix it, right? So focusing on who we are serving and targeting people that the problem that we're solving is a bigger and more painful problem, that will help us to also increase profits, well, because they will be willing to pay more for the same work. So for example, if you are helping people get fitness niche or losing weight, whatever, and it's maybe just college students, they might want to deal with it, but it might not be their highest priority compared to maybe an executive in a corporate job, CEO, founder, whoever, and because of his health, he's not being able to produce and be able to perform in the right capacity and way that he needs to. Not fixing that is going to have a much bigger impact and much bigger cost, and therefore he's probably also willing to get a solution or pay more for a solution just because it is just a bigger problem to solve for him. So this is one area we can look at, but also often looking at, okay, how long has that problem already existed for this person, for this business? So if the problem has just materialized, if they are having this problem that you are solving just like for a week, somebody may not be able to pay as much, or it's not as valuable to them as maybe somebody that is already been having this problem for months or even years. So solving a problem that is or has been going on for a longer period of time, focusing on that type of ideal client, that can help increase profits, and you will be able to ask and charge more just because of we are focusing on a different person, different scenario, and that will be able, and therefore we will be able to increase our prices. And we will see later on, I'll have like a matrix of prices, how that can look like in numbers. The next area is where we are focusing on what we are solving. And this is typically also very easily compared with, okay, if we are solving a solution, solving a problem or bringing a solution to something that, a large market, a lot of people are offering it as well, compared to maybe having only a few people, maybe more sophisticated problem, then it is also, of course, easier to charge more. The lower end, larger market is probably even something where you can just go and Google the solution. But of course, a very sophisticated problem, a very specific market, is something where people look also for the best quality. A nice example is you will probably never find somebody Google the term the cheapest brain surgeon. At least I don't think anybody would look for the cheapest brain surgeon. If you are having problem, maybe in a tumor in your brain, or anything that is very critical where you want an expert, you will probably Google more for something like looking for the best surgeon, because you, in this scenario, in this very specific thing, you need the best and not the cheapest. And if you're able to position yourself in that kind of a way, if you're solving something, if you're focusing on that problem where that specificity, if you're looking on that specific problem, then that will be much higher value for you. Also compared to maybe having a broad market, something like, okay, I'm going to show you how to set up ads versus I'm going to show you how to, or I'm specifically helping people reactivate their Facebook ad account in only 24 hours if you were shut down, if you are been spending over $1 million per month. So that's very specific. I help those people that are spending $1 million per month or more and your account has been banned. I will help you reactivate it in 24 hours because of my method, contacts, whatever it is. That's very specific, and a person in that situation is going to pay much, much more, obviously, than the person that is asking the question, how do I set up an ad account? Again, something that you could probably just go and Google. So, or find on YouTube. So that is the range that we have here in what we are solving, what we're targeting, what kind of problem we're solving. And that's a very important spectrum that we can change. And the last part, also extremely important, and something I always like to work on as well, is how we are solving it. So here, of course, we're starting out in the range where we're like, okay, here you are doing it yourself. Here you have a material, a book, a self-learning course, whatever, where you learn and you implement all on your own. The next step, of course, is where we are starting to do it with them. And the last step is to do it for them. So there are different levels on how we can serve and the value that we can be providing. Also very important and very interesting how to also mix these together. So it doesn't only have to be only the, for instance, done with you and done for you, but I love to also often mix these models together. So if you have a done with you offer, to also always have elements in the done for you in there. We'll be looking at examples later on, but but this is a range that you will be able to move along, and of course, usually the done for you is also then a higher value and therefore a higher price. So looking at numbers, this is how it can kind of look like. Of course, these are just examples, but the low end do it yourself would be maybe like a $20 book, and then eventually some other form of do it yourself. Where somebody has, wants to be investing more, it's higher priority, maybe even be willing to pay $200 or even up to $2,000 if it's a very pressing issue, even for a do-it-yourself model. And then all the way over to the done for you, usually starting out around $2,000. Those could be one-time payments or retainers, whatever it might look like for you. But you see that we can move in either direction. We can move the model. So moving over to with you or done for you, we can move in the specificity, how we specific of what we are targeting and solving, becoming more sophisticated, becoming more specific in who we are serving, and again, of course, who we are targeting, as in how painful maybe the problem is, how long the problem has been existing. So different ways to look at this and how we can up level in each direction and therefore easily be able to increase our price and therefore also our profit. So I just wanted to show this option first and showing at a higher level on how to up level your offer and to maximize the price and the profit in a very easy way. So next, let's dive in now deeper into, okay, looking specific into your offer and the ways you can optimize it. So here we're looking at the packaging and positioning first. And here we will see that typically every product and service, of course, out there, you will always have the problem where it is easy to just compare it with others. So usually how do you go online and shop? Like on Amazon, for instance, you will be able to rank for the ratings, sorting after price, and they find the cheapest and look in more details in the purchase. So it's very comparable, right? And I want to make sure that your offer is not comparable, and I want to make sure that it is easy to position it in a way that it's just not being able to replace with something else. And third, we also want to make sure that we are not going down the rabbit hole of convincing with price or on the feature level. So that is extremely important, and that is why we're going to look at how we can now position ourselves and move away from the typical product service rabbit hole over to creating offers. So Example number one for just general what an offer is compared to a regular product and service. So let's look at this vacation rental home, right? Usually you go online, then you search for your vacation rental homes. You'll say, okay, I want 3 bedrooms, maybe category villa, 2 baths, whatever, ocean view. And then you have all the listings and you're comparing, as I said before, price, features, etc. But while you're scrolling down, here you have this one listing and it seems to be a bit different. Of course, it also says the features and everything in there. It says that it's got 3 bedrooms and everything. But on top of that, it is offering you and saying that it will add or has a list of all the different things that you can do as a family listed for each day. So specifically saying what the best activities, restaurants, etc. are for Mondays. What's the best thing to do on Tuesday? So on top of just providing the housing environment, we're also taking care of maybe the next problem. That is, okay, what do we do when we are there? So we will list out in this listing all the things you can do, the best places to go. And on top of that, for these places, or a lot of these places, we'll even add in a coupon. So you'll be even saving money when you're going to these different restaurants, activities, etc. So here you see all of a sudden somebody now is not only positioning themselves as only a housing, a rental offer, but on top of that, they're solving other problems, other issues, and serving also at a higher level, of course. So if this house isn't like totally crap and bad shape, there's very high chances this listing will outperform just because it's not only good quality, but it's also separating themselves because they're providing more value, more options, and therefore probably just a better overall experience because they're promising that you will not maybe waste time on a bad experience going to the wrong restaurant, doing the wrong activities where you won't be enjoying your time, but on top, they are also giving that extra experience. So that is kind of an example how an offer can look like compared to a product. So what exactly is an offer? Is it just putting together all kinds of stuff so you just like bundle it? Well, kind of, but in a more strategic way. So in a general sense, an offer is your core product and service, but adding value and usefulness, right? So you're adding value and usefulness. One thing to do, of course, is to add strategical elements. So specifically looking at what we're adding, that we are covering all the needs and doubts and objections. So in this case, it would be like, okay, when we're going there, wondering, okay, what will we be doing there? And therefore also solving that problem, solving that need, right? On top of that, elements that are delivering quick results, that is always good to put in there in the offer. So not only looking at the elements that are covering the needs and the doubts and the objections, but also something that will deliver quick results, and also elements that will solve the follow-up problem, similar to the example that I was just showing. So here's an example. That's an example just how you can put an offer together, how that value add and usefulness could look like. So next, I want to ask you the following question. If this has ever happened to you, and when you are maybe online or watching TV, that you see an ad that you like, and you like the product or service that is shown there, and you're like, okay, I will go and search online for a better solution or a cheaper solution or cheaper option, and then you purchase it, but not from that actual initial ad that got you started, right? And that is exactly what we don't want to happen. And the question is, how often do your potential clients do the same? And the goal is now, of course, to create an offer where this does not happen anymore. So this is why offer packaging is so important. We're going to look at that next. So offer packaging is now when we are looking at our offer, everything that's inside of this offer, and how we package and position it in the right way. So we have all our different elements in there. It might be services, it might be products, it might be a framework, a coaching framework, whatever it might be. So you have your way of how you're delivering the solution, moving them from the problem to the result that they want, right? So inside, I always recommend to find a way maybe to create some type of IP, intellectual property, where it's unique, where it's different. Also maybe to add something that is new or contrarian. So an example I just read the other day is where somebody put out a new book and it read, um, eat after 7 p.m., the easy way to lose weight. I was like, eat after 7 p.m.? I always thought you should eat not after 7 p.m. So it was the exact opposite. So that was getting me interested, and I did not buy it because I don't have that problem. But I think a lot of people looking for a solution will be like, okay, that sounds new. Oh, I'll try that out. I'll look into it. So it sounds different. It's new. Or a financial advisor program I looked at or I saw. It's called the Up Level program, and they say get financially free in 10 years or less. And inside of there, they have number one, we will help you define monthly magic number that would mean freedom to you. Number two, we have our RIP, rest in peace method. We optimizing insurances and expenses to save money. Number three, our pyramid investing map, because 97% of common investing is actually hurting you. So you see how all this is positioned away. You're like, okay, I don't know that method. I've never heard that before. Oh, 97 are doing this wrong. So all these different things that are positioning in a way where it's like, okay, only they will be able to deliver that result. And you won't really be able to go online and Google like, okay, somebody else doing this cheaper, better. So because they are positioning in a way that you know, okay, I will only be getting the answers to this from them. And that's what you want to be creating, that kind of environment. And last, if you are not able to position it in a way where you are feeling that you can do it with something unique or something like inside of the program that you're delivering, well, then maybe you're able to have a new way of delivering it. So, like a lot of people are doing one-on-one and coaching out there right now. Maybe create a different format. Like me, I used to do one-on-one or still do a little bit, but I moved then to not a coaching because I'm not a big fan of coaching, like mass coaching with 20, 50, 100 people, but instead of like intimate, small 10 people masterminds going through the program, helping out each other with my coaching advice, of course, but that intimate group of 10 people and more, or sorry, not more, but only up to 10 people, that is a different environment, something that is not very common. So that is the way also how it's been or how it's delivered. So and there's different ways to do that. Another guy I know, he's like doing it on a yacht, for instance. They all go on a yacht and they're going for 2 days on a yacht. So a different experience, of course. So thinking of different ways on how that is delivered. That's, of course, also a great way to position it differently. Now you have a great offer and you have great packaging. I want to talk about one of the number one reasons that often these offers are still failing. And this is one of my favorite things to look at and one of my favorite things to optimize because a lot of people are just overlooking this option. So, number one, as I said, when somebody's making a buying decision, they are always pulled in the one direction, of course, where we are showing all the benefits, all the value, our intellectual property, and everything that we can do for them, right? But there's also something else pulling them in the other direction. That is always the case. So no matter how good, how interesting your product and service might be, your offer might be, there's always something else pulling them in the other buying direction. And that is that we are always having some kind of thought about risk that is going to be involved. What will happen if I will not achieve those results? What will happen if I do not make the money back, whatever it might be, if I waste my time? So those are different thoughts that are always going to be inside of your potential client's head. And of course, there's ways to try to lower these, but usually they are always there in some kind of a way. And the goal is to completely eliminate these risks involved. So what we do is that we try to find a way to actually transfer this risk and make it to pulling them into the buying decision. One quick disclaimer, real quick, is that if you have a high refund rate, then I would advise that you first focus on getting better quality. Doing that first, and when quality is good, refund rate is low, then focus on the bold risk reversal, and that will then help definitely increase conversions and make more sales. So let's look at the doc and framework and how this works and how you will be able to implement a really bold and successful risk reversal for your business and for your offer. So the first part of the doc and framework is the so-called domino effect. Then we're going to look at the outcome, competition, compensation, and last at the name. what is a domino effect? So the domino effect is where we are going to look at all the different areas that could be affected if something goes wrong. So of course it could be like the full possible risk on all levels. So, but I'm not only looking at maybe the money investment, but what are other things that are involved that might be affecting them? The time, or what else is maybe affected if somebody somebody got maybe purchased a new house from you. If you're a realtor, obviously the hassle, or the money they invested, but also the hassle maybe to move again or whatever. So there's different things involved that might be critical to actually to make it worthwhile. So the domino effect is very, very important. Then we have another area, and that is where we look at the money reversal, or also not only the money reversal, but all areas of risk reversal. So all areas where we can reverse the risk, and to think of all the areas, as I just said, maybe also that not only they lost money, but they can also losing their time, or having more time involved fixing it, maybe their status that was lost. So thinking of all the different effects that might have inside of the risk. So the next part is also extremely important, and that is where we are now looking at the outcome that we can guarantee them. And this is very, very powerful to look at not the maximum, but the minimum guarantee that we can give them as a result. An example I love is from FedEx, where they used to say, okay, we will deliver by tomorrow, 10 o'clock, or you don't pay anything. Or Domino's Pizza used to say, get your fresh hot pizza in 30 minutes or less, or it's going to be free. So they're tying in their minimum guarantee of 30 minutes, fresh and hot, and that completely blew up their business. So you see that a minimum guarantee can be very, very powerful, and it's supposed to be a measurable outcome, of course. And what we should avoid is something like, okay, our minimal guarantee is like, well, you'll be happy. Well, the problem is people don't know what happy really looks like. They don't know what it looks like. So we need to show them what happy looks like, and we need to show them exactly how to measure their happiness, right? So that's something we need to really focus on, and we really need to also look at. So an example would be, again, tying in the results, the minimum results of what happy looks like. So saying, okay, if you do not achieve at least a positive ROI, if you do not get at least this, if your success doesn't look like this, then that risk reversal will kind of be effective, and you will get compensated in whatever way. We'll look at different ways there. But it's important to let them know exactly what happy should look like, and tie in the results in there. So the next option is where we are now. So the first step was we look at the domino effect. Number two was we look at the minimum guarantee. But very important for bold risk reversal is that we also look at what other people our direct competition is doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at our top 5 competitors, and we want to be bolder than all of these. So we're going to do a research of the top 5 competitors out there. We're going to study and look at their risk reversals, and you will see that most of them are not very good at this, not doing this. So that's why I love this method, because it's so easy to become bolder, better, and use bold risk reversal in the right kind of a way. So that is step number 3. And then the next very important step, of course, is how are we going to then compensate for if that minimal guarantee is not achieved. So there's different ways to do this. I'll just pick a few. And number 1 would be that we, of course, give them the money back. That is something very common. As I said before, the example of Domino's Pizza, fresh hot pizza in under 30 minutes, or you get your money back. Or what we can also do is they get money back and actually go an extra mile and say, well, you'll get your money back plus you will be getting this extra value, be getting this extra training or this template or whatever you might have, something you can give them on top, so they get their money plus they get something else, and that is a great way also to stand out because not a lot of people are doing this. Number 3, we can give something else if money is not possible. Before we were talking about real estate, that's a common example. You are usually, as an agent, not able to buy back. But what you can do is say, hey, if you're not happy with your real estate, then I will do the following. I will not only sell that house again for you for free, I will also provide a new home for you, and you will not have to pay any fee for that. Of course, you only have to purchase the house, but there's no additional fee for the new purchase. And I will even give you $2,000 for your moving expenses. So there you go. You have multiple steps of the risk involved, that domino, and it's all taken care of in that risk reversal. And I think a lot of buyers will feel a lot safer with that risk reversal because they know, okay, even for whatever reason, this is not the right purchase, all these different things are then included to make the new decision and move on. So that is a really powerful and great way to not have money, but other elements provide for the risk reversal. And then we also have the pay after X part of the offer, and if you had X results. So this is kind of where they first get the offer. They can experience the offer, they can go through the coaching, they can go through the course, they can maybe go through the event, whatever, and they actually only pay after the event if they liked it and if they maybe had X result. As I said, not only saying if you're happy, but if possible also tying in what happy looks like. And a little bonus you can do here is where you actually say, okay, well, if you pay in advance, if you do pay right away, so not like afterwards as I am proposing, but if you purchase in advance, then you actually get a discount. So this is a very great way to position an offer, to build in a risk reversal where it's, hey, you only pay if you liked it, and if you pay right away, you actually get a discount. So there you go, different ways for your compensation and to build in the bold risk reversal. So this is like the main steps. The last step is then to give it a name. So to kind of brand your bold risk reversal. So this could be with your brand, with your company name, or you could call it like something unique. Yeah, my bulletproof double guarantee, or your even your wife will say yes guarantee, whatever your niche and offer is, of course. So there's different ways, of course, to do this, or as I said, just putting in your brand. So our money masters promise or whatever. So depending on what your offer, what your company looks like, would make sense to brand it, give it a name, stand out, and then of course list what that guarantee looks like with these components. So these are the main steps that we just covered where you will be able to have your amazing offer that converts better. And if you want help with this, if you want to dive deeper into the 4x4 offer creation framework to get offers that convert, then I want to invite you to my free Offers That Convert masterclass. In this masterclass, you will be able to pinpoint precisely where your offers need improvement, because we will looking at the different criterias exactly that you need to have, like a scoring card for each of these 4 pillars. So we'll be looking at that in a deeper area of all these 4 pillars. We covered 2 right now, and there's 2 more. And then also very important, we will be I'll be giving you a clear roadmap to increase and reach and increase your revenue goals, and actually a roadmap that will show you how to create new clients from scratch. So this is a very powerful roadmap that will show you exactly what to do, what steps are needed leading up to your offer to have not only an amazing offer, but have them prepared, as I said before, waiting for your offer, waiting to say yes for your proposal. So that is also something we'll be covering in the masterclass. Plus, I will show you how to create your own growth audit to stay on track and focus on the most important tasks. Because to be honest, lack of clarity and focus is often one of the main components, one of the main pieces that are really hurting businesses out there. So that's a really important part that I will be including into the masterclass, that you will stay on track and focus on the right things. So join me at the masterclass at getbusinesslit.com/masterclass. I would love to see you there and dive in deeper into how to create offers that convert. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I hope you got tons of value and be able to take the steps that you learned, that you'll be able to create amazing offer to make yourself uncomparable. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again at the Offers That Convert Masterclass. Take care. Bye-bye.